than anything else that will trigger a strike, and that is you have to capitalize on this reaction element of a fish, where a fish reacts without thinking. This is the number one thing that is going to help you get more bites, is if you can get the fish to react to your lure. Now, a couple different ways you can do this. It's not just one thing. First of all, the number one thing as far as how to get a fish to react to a lure is how you manipulate that lure, the action that you put on that lure. And that's why when you're talking about like your retrieves, like, you know, in terms of slow, medium, fast retrieve, stop and go retrieve, just a constant retrieve, erratic retrieves, there's a lot of different ways you can retrieve a bait, based upon the lure category. For example, like a jerk bait, you got the whole twitch pause, which basically can, mean a lot of different things. There's a lot of different, lengths that you can twitch it. There's a lot of different time frames you can let it pause. That's one element there. If you're reeling a bait like a crankbait, you got various speed of retrieves. You can make the bait react or slow down. You can pull it, you can jerk it, you can snap it, you can pause it. There's a lot of different things you can do to get that bait to react, a little bit crazy looking. And the same with like a topwater. Topwater, you can fish it fast, you can fish it medium, you can fish it slow, you can stop it. I've seen times, guys, with topwater fishing where the only way that you could get a bite on it is to let it sit there for like 30 seconds without moving it, where the bait is just floating on its own, it's not even moving. And then all of a sudden, and I've seen them do this, guys, the fish will come up and they'll look at that topwater and they'll watch it like the wind just blowing it and floating it down like that, and eventually they can't stand it and they go up and hammer it. So there's a lot of different things that cause a bass to bite a lure, but that's the number one thing that you have to figure out, is how to get the bass to react to your lure. So the thing that I would recommend is, like, regardless of your lure category, I don't care if it's a plastic worm or a jig or a crankbait or whatever, you have got to constantly experiment with your retrieves, your cadence and your speed of retrieves, how you work the lure. Let's say, for example, with a jig, you got a lot of different options. You can just drag a jig along the bottom. You can shake it in one spot. You can hop it 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inches, 4 inches, 2 or 3 feet, even off the bottom. You can hop it. You can snap it. There's a lot of different ways that you can work any lure out there. So here is the tip and advice I'll give you. Once you catch a fish on whatever lure category that you're fishing, I don't care if it's a worm or a topwater or chatterbait or spinnerbait or whatever, when you know that those fish are in an area